Hi, welcome to Elizabeth's Cozy Kitchen. So as you know, I'm in costume. I'm a tree or a tree spirit or something, and I have a sign on me because I'm a tree. And now I'm putting on my herb. Oh, I didn't think about that. My apron I made that has pictures of herbs on it. Anyway, it's Halloween, and one of the things my mom would always make for us on Halloween, and the doorbell might go off. The dog will probably bark, but I'm just gonna make it go. We're gonna make this work and not have to stop and stuff. So we're gonna make chili, because my mom used to always make chili for us when we were kids. I'm gonna make some raw chili, and I've done a lot of prep work, mostly because of the doorbell thing. So the first thing we're gonna do is I have hazelnuts, 1 cup of soaked hazelnuts. You can use walnuts, pecans, almonds, really anything. I think pecans and walnuts are kind of you could do a mixture, 1/4 cup of everything. But I had some hazelnuts, so I'm using hazelnuts. I really wouldn't use cashews or macadamia nuts for this though. So I'm putting that in the food processor. And then I have 3 carrots. And because I like my carrots to be exciting, I had like 1 yellow, 1 purple, 1 orange. And I'm going to put all that in the food processor. And what we're trying to do is we're not trying to like create a paste like normally. We want like chunks, like little perfect same size chunks. Like this is going to be kind of like the ground beef portion. So instead of setting it on, we're going to be pulsing. This like kind of ground beef size. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put that in a bowl. And I'm gonna put my food processor back. And then I have, let me put this bowl right here so you can see. I have 1 celery, and they're all like similar sizes. The food processor can make them all better sized if when they go in, they're similar size. So they're big chunks, similar size, out, and then go in, and small chunks come out. Right? Yes. So I have 1 celery, 2 poblano. Sorry, I can't talk. What is this? It's a portobello mushroom. Portobello mushroom, celery, 1 bell pepper, and then half of a red onion, and that's all in this little mixture right here. And I cut them all up into sizes so they'd be easier to process. And then I'm just going to pulse. You kind of want the same similar size as the other one. So we have like all the celery's chopped up now, the peppers are chopped up, the mushrooms are chopped up. You could do this by hand if you wanted to. You don't have to process it. But the food processor got dirty anyway, and so I don't see why not. So let's scrape this out, and the food processor is done. We'll move on to the blender, to the sauce, because right now we just have like a bunch of vegetables. So what's the sauce? What's the glue that's holding this together? So here I have 1.5 to 2 cups of water, and in that water I've soaked 1.5 cup of sun-dried tomatoes, because I want the water. So I'm not going to strain it out. Now, if you forgot to measure the water before you started soaking your tomatoes, you can always drain it into a measuring cup, like through a colander, through a measuring cup. And then you could see, okay, this is 1.5 cups. This is 2 cups of water. So I'm going to put all of that in. And then I'm going to put in, I also had 2 dates. You want to use maple syrup or honey or agave as your sweetener, that's fine. But I put in 2 dates, and that was soaking in there as well. And I have 2 to 4 cloves of garlic, because when the recipe says 2, I put in 4. This is Bragg's amino acid, and it's a 1/4 cup. I have a tablespoon of olive oil. Isn't this like the cutest little fanciest jar ever? Yeah, I paid for the jar. I know that. Okay, let me make sure I have everything. Yep, and then I have my spices. So in here, I already measured out my spices. I have 1 to 2 tablespoons of ancho chili powder. I put 2 tablespoons in. I like things spicy. I have a tablespoon of dried oregano, a tablespoon of chili powder, a tablespoon of cumin, a 1/4 teaspoon of cayenne pepper. So all those spices are kind of milling around in here, and that goes in here as well. And then I'm going to blend this. Of water because I wanted my chili a little bit thicker, but you could absolutely do 2 cups if you, or you could start with 1 1/2 and add more water if it gets too thick for you. Or you could tell my my blender was kind of like mooning a little bit. So this almost looks like if you ever made raw tomato sauce. That's what this looks like right now. So we're just gonna scrape this out, and now I'm gonna jinx it, but no one's come to the door yet. And now I'm just gonna stir it. And there's a couple of options of how to serve this. Now, absolutely, you could just serve it like this right away. Maybe like let the flavors kind of meld together for an hour or 2, let them marinate. Something I've done in the past is that I have put it on the stove, and I put in a thermometer, like this one right here. And I set, this one is nice because you can set it to go off at a certain temperature. So I can stick the thermometer and walk away with my stove on low, and it'll go off when I'm at 110. So that's a perfect temperature to eat it at, and that's all you need to do. You can also throw it in your dehydrator, which is what I'm going to do, simply because my stove is still back in my kitchen. And so that takes longer, because that takes about like a couple hours really to heat it up to a good consistency, at least an hour if you do like separate bowls as opposed to like sticking this whole thing in the dehydrator. So that's what I'm going to do. So I'm just going to, see that? Put it serving in a bowl for me. If you want to have something with this, I like to make just regular cornbread with it, gluten-free cornbread, and I would serve that. So this is my chili. Like I said, I like mine a little bit thicker. You can make yours thinner by adding another 1/2 cup of water, and that's perfect. So this is my little like oh, my mom used to make me chili for Halloween. Now it's Halloween, I'm making chili, and I wanted to also show you guys, because I recently made a video where I made raw chocolates, and I wanted to show you my cute little. I have Darth Vader, and I have a pumpkin, and a skeleton, and I thought they turned out really good. There's a little tiny bit of grit, and I think I'm gonna kind of play around with it, because maybe like the coconut sugar won't be as gritty, or maybe I should process it more. And that's the doorbell! Perfect timing! Thank you for joining me. Until next time.